My daughter, Nina Kamalo, who was badly injured in a car accident, died in the operating room after life-saving measures failed. Before I could recover from the shock of her death, I received the horrifying news that all her organs had been removed. Devastated and desperate, I threw all my energy into uncovering the truth. Only then did I discover that the consent form I had signed given to me by the lead surgeon Avelina Bianchi had a voluntary organ donation clause hidden in it. Moreover, Nina hadn't been in critical condition at all. She was still alive when all her organs were harvested. Enraged, I showed my husband, Arturo Kamalo, all the evidence and declared that Avelina must suffer. Yet, 3 months later, I see Arturo holding Avelina's daughter in his arms at the mall with Avelina herself leaning against him affectionately. When I storm over to confront him, I learned that Avelina was Arturo's childhood best friend. Nina's heart had long been transplanted into Avelina's daughter, who suffered from a heart condition. Faced with my accusations, Arturo insists that Nina has always been kind-hearted. He believes that Nina would have agreed to it if she knew that her life could save so many others. Amid my struggle with them, a speeding car runs over me, killing me on the spot. When I open my eyes again, I find myself reborn to the day Avelina hands me the critical condition notice and consent form. I shoved Avelina Bianchi away hard, my voice sharp as I rejected her outright. In not signing this form, my daughter is nowhere near a critical condition. The truth was that my daughter, Nina Kamalo, wasn't that seriously injured in the car accident. She had just hit her head and fallen into a coma, which was why the ambulance had rushed her to the hospital. In my past life, I had panicked and allowed Avelina to pull me along. In my confusion, I had signed that consent form, hiding a devilish clause. This time, I wasn't going to be so easily fooled again. Avelina stumbled back, caught off guard, and nearly fell to the ground. My husband, Arturo Kamalo, caught her just in time and turned to me angrily. Selena Eldrick, what the hell are you doing? Dr. Bianchi is doing everything she can to save our daughter in the OR. How can you treat her like this? I pushed my anger down and tried to explain. She's not really trying to save our daughter. That consent form hides an organ donation clause. If I sign it, Nina will die. Arturo looked down at Avelina, cradled in his arms, her face paled, but soon tears of grievance welled up. Don Kamalo, I don't know how I offended Donna Selena to make her publicly accuse me like this. It's just a minor clause, a routine step in emergency care. No other family has ever made such a big deal about it like her. Arturo glanced carefully at the consent form, then turned to me, his tone helpless. Selena, you're overreacting. This is just a standard critical condition notice. Every family member waiting outside the OR goes through this process. Nina's injuries aren't that serious at all. I don't trust her. Arturo, I demand a new lead surgeon and a new diagnosis. Arturo was the Don of the Kamalo Famiglia, the largest mafia syndicate in Maranello. As long as he stepped in, he could immediately expose Avelina's lies. Avelina buried her face in her hands, her shoulders trembling. Donna Selena, I know this is agonizing, but this is the reality. Please control your emotions, Favena. I'm only fulfilling my duty as a doctor. You can't slander me like this. The surrounding patients and nurses, drawn by the commotion, spoke up when they heard Avelina's words. Dr. Bianchi is one of the best doctors in the hospital. How could she possibly misdiagnose? I think this mama is just too emotional and is deliberately causing trouble. Arturo frowned, stepping forward to pull me into his arms. Selena, you're too worked up. This is just a standard or procedure. You don't have to be this nervous. Why don't you go back and rest a little? I'll sign this consent form for you. A shiver ran through me. I realized that even without my consent, Arturo, as Nina's papa, could also sign the form. I screamed and pushed him away, then snatched the form from Avelina's hands and tore it into pieces. I'm transferring Nina to another hospital right now for a reevaluation. This time, I'll make sure she gets to live. With trembling hands, I pulled out my phone and dialed a familiar string of numbers. During the 5 years I had been married to Arturo, I had also cut off all contact with my family. They had opposed my marriage to a mafia don who lived on the edge of death. So I had given up my identity as the only daughter of Brenler's richest man and flown all the way to Maranello alone. Yet, the only people who could help me now were my family, people who would never abandon me. When the call connected, I choked out, Dad, please save my daughter. She needs to be transferred to the best hospital around the country right now. Without hesitation, my family agreed and dispatched a top medical team to Maranello. I glanced at the clock on my phone. In 2 hours, my parents would arrive on their private plane, racing to my side as quickly as possible.